front of you. The warning's going out. I had a couple other searches that I was going to do, but they keep kind of getting pushed back for things that are much more pressing. So at this time, please turn over to page 630. Page 630, and this is Yahshua 7. Yahshua 7, page 630. Yahshua 7. And in verse 6, now remember, in one of the other searches that deals with coming out from among them, the word warning has come up numerous times, and also trump waiver, reminding us that we are in the last 3.5 years. It has started. We only got probably less than 2 years left. But it says in verse 6, an end has come. The end has come. It has awakened for you. Behold, it has come. Okay? So I did a search on this. Pastor wanted me to look for something in particular, so I did a search, and I looked for flee to Israel, Texas, but it was not in the codes. But what was there was much greater, and it starts with flee to Abel. Flee to Abel. And you're going to see how this blossoms into this really great explanation of why it's important to heed the words of the seventh Malach and pack it in and start heading this way, because time is short and our salvation is near, and we need to be obedient. So let's dig into the codes. Let's see, we got that up there. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in one here, and I'll just kind of, did it work? Am I pushing the wrong button? Oh, there you go. All right. So, of course, right here we have the main, which is what I usually start my search is I type in a phrase that from pastors' newsletters, prophetic words, sermons, things that people have said that just sparks my interest. And I realize that Yahweh's showing me, you need to look see what's in that right there. So I typed in flee to Abel. Flee to Abel. And the interesting thing is the first things that came out before we start, it was 6,244 letters or characters between each letter. And in Strong's, 6244 means to waste away, to fail, to be consumed. And the search is encoded in Jeremiah 23:17 for your notes. Okay? So the first thing that came up was really interesting, and it's right here, number 2, and connected to it is number 3. This is house of Hillel, and this is Bethel, or house of God. So we're to flee to Abel and get away from the house of Hillel and the house of God. Right here we have confinement. And they're fixing to lock things down again. We can see them wanting to move forward to that again. It's time to realize that and heed the warning coming from Yahweh's house. Confinement. Right here we have critical. Crossing, flee to Abel. Critical. We have up here, deadly. And now there's other words that connect to that, which we'll come back to. Deadly. Right there. Right here. Go. And this Hebrew word has an exclamation point to it. Go. It's time to go. It's time to get ready to move your stuff, to move yourself here. Delayed, no longer. Delayed, no longer. Okay? We have threatening. Threatening. It's right here. War. And we can see that coming with all the situations with China and Taiwan right now. War. Warning. And warning crosses house of Hillel and house of God. And it also has more stuff that we're going to come back to. Warning. Okay. Then over the main, we have right here, we have Yahweh foretold. Yahweh foretold. Flee to Abel, begin. Go, begin, flee to Abel. It's time to go. It's time to get to Abilene, to the house of Yahweh, Israel, Texas. Right here, we have heed. The word heed, and it crosses the word warning. Heed the warning. Now, connected to deadly, and it starts getting kind of intense now, we have rebelliousness is deadly, and you are cursed, cut off, damned if you don't obey. Cursed, cut off, and damned if you don't heed the warning coming from Yisrael Hawkins and the great priests and priestesses in the house of Yahweh. It's time to realize time is short. There's a place here of protection, but people need to follow the instructions that are given to us. All right? Right here we have promotion, raising, lifting, and it crosses flee to Abel, to the promoted place, to the raised, to the lifted up house of Yahweh. And it also crosses delayed no longer. Then over here, 19, and it crosses 20, refuge and fortress. Remember Psalms, refuge and fortress. Then right here, we have obey, and it crosses warning. Obey the warning. Yahweh is making it crystal clear to us now that it's time. Obey the warning. Now, Pastor yesterday asked me to look up some things, and I had to search deep, and what was there was pretty amazing. And this is the last thing that came up. It goes from here, and I'm just going to go through them. Flee, city, Yisrael, now. Flee to the city of Yisrael now. Now. Time no longer. And it crosses delayed no longer. Now, some other words that were found, but of course there's usually not enough room to put them all in there, is annihilation, frightening, trouble, trump, and waver, reminding us that we are in the last 3.5 years and that time is short. Now, for my final scripture, let's turn over to Yekechka again. Yekechka 33. Yekechka 33. And that's found on page 653. And in verse 3, it says, when he sees the sword coming upon the land, upon the earth, if he blows the trumpet, Yisrael Hawkins, and warns the people of Yahweh, then whoever hears the sound of the trumpet but does not heed the warning, if the sword comes and takes him away, his blood will be upon his own head. I mean, what do you have to give up? Nothing. There's many people that are here that walked away from so much, but walked away from nothing. Okay, we're here. Everybody else needs to get here. Now, those that are not able to be here because of their beastly system they're under or certain circumstances, again, stay close to Abel, stay close to the house of Yahweh and your counselors, and you will be protected. Pastor has said that. But if you're able to be here and you don't come because, well, I can't walk away from my job, or I can't walk away from my house, or I can't walk away from this or that, if the curse comes, you will be caught up in it. So heed the warning. Yahweh's with us if we will obey. With that, if you'll stand, I have the great opportunity to turn over to a great priest again in Yahweh's house, the great Kahan, Michael Hawkins. Enjoy your Sabbath.